Morning, students. This part of our lesson, it is the last part of the first lesson about powers. We have only one problem that speaks about metric relations. So we're going to recall some ideas and some information about metric relations. First of all, we're going to check the metric system scale. We have the basic units that we usually use are the grams, meters, and liters. So we have the base units that we usually use are grams, meters, and liters. And we have the prefix that is related with each one of them, which is kilo, hecto, deca, deci, centi, or milli. In the three scales, to move from the big unit to the smaller unit, we multiply. Between each two units, the first unit and the one next to it, we multiply by 10. And if we want to go back from the small unit to the big unit, we divide by 10 between each one unit. To further explain this, we have this scale that shows that between each two units we have to multiply by 10 to move from the big unit to the smaller unit. And if we want to go back, we divide by 10. Okay? We have the units of length, which are kilometers, hectometers, decameters, meters, decimeters, centimeters, and millimeters. We have the units of mass, kilograms, hectograms, decagrams, grams, decigrams, centigrams, or milligrams. And we have the units of capacity. In the three scales, to move from the bigger unit to the smaller one, we multiply by 10. And if we want to move from the smaller unit to the bigger unit, we divide by 10. If we have to jump several jumps through this scale, I'm going to show you how. If I want to move, for example, from kilograms to grams, I have to jump 3 jumps. So since I have 3 jumps, so I have to multiply by 10 3 times. If I multiply by 10 3 times, so it changes to 10 to the power 3. So if I want to change from kilograms to grams, I multiply by 10 to the power 3. And similarly for all the other scales, I do the same. Okay? Now I have this sheet of exercises. In the first one, we have to circle the greater length in each box. If they are equal, we circle them both. To do this job, we have to change both numbers to the same unit. So if I convert the 3 meters to millimeters, I multiply by times 10 to the power 3, and I will have 3000 millimeters. So 3 meters is bigger than 30 millimeters. So I circle it. Okay, 20 centimeters and 2 meters. 2 meters, if I want to change it to centimeters, I have to multiply it by 100 or 10 to the power 2. So the answer, it will be 200 centimeters. Okay, if I change it both to the centimeters, it is easier for me to choose the greater one. Okay, excuse my handwriting, I cannot control more. Okay, now I have to see from kilometers to centimeters. I do the same process. I convert kilometers to centimeters, then I compare and I choose the one with the greater value. If both values are equal, we circle them both. Okay, here I have to describe how I figure out how many millimeters are in 1 meters. So I have to explain. If I have from meters to millimeters, how many jumps do I jump? I have between them decimeters and centimeters. right? So I have to jump how many times? 1, 2, and 3. So I have to multiply or to divide? I have to multiply because I'm moving from the big unit to smaller unit. Times, I jumped the 3 jumps, so it is times 10 to the power 3. I have to write what I've said now by words to explain or describe how many millimeters are in 1 meters, and you have to find your answer and write it in this box. Now here you have to write your name, and here you have to list the 3 measurements with different units that are equal to 8 meters. You can choose the 3 units. I may choose kilometers. You can choose decameters, and you can choose, for example, centimeters. Okay, you can change 8 meters to these 3 units. The last two are also conversion and comparison. The last one is similar to the first question, and you can use it. Here we have the units of area. We have that the units are squared. So because we are using two-dimensional shapes, and we have to multiply length times width. If we multiply length times width, then we have two measurements multiplied by each other to form this unit, which is squared kilometers, squared hectometers, squared decameters. To move through this scale, we have to multiply by 10 to the power 2, 10 squared, all over the scale. So instead of 10 to the power 1, we have 10 to the power 2. And if we have to go back, we divide by 10 to the power 2. So here we have division. Okay? And the last one, we have the units of volume. We have cubic units, and we have to multiply by times 10 to the power 3. And if we go back, we have to divide by 10 to the power 3. So all of them are written here. Example, if I have 85 squared kilometers, I want to convert them to square meters. We have to multiply to 10 by 10 to the power 2, and we have to count how many times we jump. 1 and 2 and 3. So I have 3 jumps. Since I have 3 jumps and three of them I have to multiply by 10 squared, I multiply 10 squared times 3. So the power will be 10 to the power 6, and the answer will be 85 times 10 to the power 6. The last second example is I'm going to move from cubic centimeters to cubic meters. So I have to move 1, 2, but backwards this time. So I have to divide by 10 to the power 3, and since I have 2 jumps backward, I multiply the power by 2. So it is a power of a power. Now 3 times 2, it's 10 to the power 6, and the answer will be 0.00452. Why do we have this? Because if I have a decimal point here, I have to move back 6 place values, and the decimal point will stand here, and I will have 0.00452. I hope you enjoyed this part of the lesson. So see you in another session. Have a nice day.